muted?
I swear I clicked it. Anyways, welcome back to Basic Entertainment, and welcome back to another live spoiler talk with my co-host Shamoon, and we got a special guest here. I got AJ Reacts. This is episode 5 of WandaVision. I'm so excited to talk about this. We have a lot to talk about, and if we have a good amount of time, enough of your time, we'll be reacting to Falcon Winter Soldier and discussing a little bit of that from yesterday's Super Bowl Sunday. So I got Tez in the comments. Yo, sup, Matt Crawford. I'm muted. Yeah, my boys got me too. So let me introduce. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me introduce my special guest of the week, AJ Reacts from AJ Reacts2.
What's going on? I'm pumped about this episode. It had, like you said, we have a lot to talk about. Yeah, it's gonna be an awesome time. So thanks for having me.
Of course. And my co-host of every week in this show, Shamoon Reacts.
What is up, guys? Can't wait to discuss this episode because it's probably the best episode yet, and it's definitely got me sold on the show. So honestly, Matt, and it's good to see AJ after like millions of years. It's been ages.
Right. So Here we go for WandaVision episode 5. We're gonna, of course, do our own, just get this set up. I'm just wasting time. So a recap of episode 5. AJ, you want to take it away?
Yeah. So where do we start off? We find out. So I guess at the end of episode 4, we kind of find out that Wanda is controlling this as far as Rambo is concerned. And so Sword, they infiltrate Westview, and then we see, what else do we see? Kind of put me on the spot here. I'm trying to think of everything that happened in the episode. So Vision is kind of like being a little self-aware, kind of on to Wanda about what is happening in Westview. Everything is not really as it seems to him, and she's kind of knows it. And, she's kind of getting a little combative with him. And that was kind of some of my favorite parts where, he got a little bass in his voice. But yeah. So
he was for real. He was angry.
He was angry, and we haven't really seen that from him. So pretty interesting. I don't know if I left anything out, but hope not.
The big reveal.
Yeah. I knew I felt like we would get to that, but we see somebody here that we haven't seen in the MCU at all. So it's a pretty big deal here. Pietro, her brother.
Pietro, yeah, you said it right.
Yep.
So first impressions, guys. Shamoon.
Effing bonkers, bro. Like, I think when we were saying like Paul Bettany was capping about the other episodes, I think he meant this episode when he said effing bonkers. Because like with the other episodes, me and Matt like stop the cap, bro. Like, come on, it wasn't that good. But this episode and the fourth one, with this, it was wow, bro. It's like your attention span was always there. Like everything in this episode was interesting, and I do like the fact that they put the 80s theme in, but you felt like there was more importance about what's going on outside of the reality, because that's of course like with Sword and Rambo and Jimmy Woo and that whole situation and Darcy, and like I think that for me is the thing that's gripped me more, is like knowing what's going on outside. Like we're getting to see everything inside, and then the funny moments we had. I like the fact we saw a younger Vision. Like obviously it's just a meme, but all the memes like what was Vision like when he was a kid. It was like photo of a computer. That was quite hilarious. I'd say the structure with this episode was good. And just generally, I was just really enjoying this episode. Like, these moments he had with Sword, really getting to know it's like an upgrade to S.H.I.E.L.D. Things are more insane with what they've kind of, like with S.H.I.E.L.D., it's with Earth, with Sword is so much more. And like, I do like the little references that we had to like previous MCU like outings and stuff. And I mean, obviously the final scene that was mind blowing because you're like, okay, is this a multiverse thing, which is clearly teasing that? Is it Mephisto? Why is his accent different? Why does Pietro sound different? Evan Peters' Quicksilver didn't sound like that. So I don't know if it's a copyright thing or just trying to be different. But yeah, I mean, this episode was crazy. And I love the scenes that we can see right now on the screen. You know, Wanda like taking Vision's body. Like that's quite dark. And the fact she used him knowing he's dead, making him alive in this reality, and just seeing how it unfolds, and seeing her come out of the reality was quite creepy in a sense. Like she ain't playing, you know, she ain't coming in and be all nice
playing games. No,
like I feel like her accent came back, but like she's very clear on, you know, things with how she feels with Sword, and you know, leaving her alone. So yeah, overall, man, amazing episode.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it off for first impression. AJ?
Yeah, I feel like Shamoon said a lot of it that I was thinking of.
Sorry,
no, you're good, bro. You're good. You put it in a way better way than I probably would have. But yeah, I think this episode was very solid, a lot more solid than the previous episodes have been because of, you know, us not knowing exactly what's going on. I think episode 4 did a lot better job than 1, 2, and 3. And then like with this episode, things are just being a lot clearer and like kind of more upfront about what the plot is going to be for this show. And it's crazy that we're 5 episodes into this show and we still are not really knowing, you know, the plot, but that's a good thing because, you know, I think a lot of things in the MCU are very straightforward. This is ambitious and I like that.
Oh yeah.
So my first impressions going in episode 5, you know, we have seen slight improvements beyond episode going on episode. And I feel like this was an improvement. I still can't find I love this whole mystery box, and it's a TV show. I keep on reminding myself it's a TV show. It's gonna be a slow burn. It's gonna take its time, and I appreciate that. But I'm not gonna lie to you, that little spoiled MCU fanboy is still inside me of wanting stuff to happen now. But no, let me tell you right now, I'm gonna end that. I really respect this show a lot. I respect Vision, even though I don't like Vision as much, or you know, don't really like. You know, I just don't like Vision, or just I have a lot of respect for this show. But there's one thing in the show as an MCU fan, writing wise, has me kind of like, what, that was kind of weird, and we'll get into that. But overall, you know, same thing as last week. I feel like it's improving, and I think this was an improvement, and I think this is what I wanted from episode 5, because we were talking about how episode 4, after episode 4, we're gonna go back to the sitcom. This one did a great job of going back and forth. You know, the editing skills, how they transitioned to that was seamlessly and laced up pretty well for a good balanced pace episode with that, which was 41 minutes. It was the longest episode yet. So we got Tez 101, AJ, what's up? And we got Connor. I think this is the first time I've seen you. Hello there. I need to get
Connor. What's up, man? He's one of my regular viewers on my other channel. He's a good guy. What's up, man?
I think I need to get hello there every time that triggers me the Obi-Wan. I need to get like a GIF or something of that. But overall, like general thoughts. Where's your guys' thoughts? I kind of want to. Let's go ahead and just break down the episode. So going in, what was the first scene? We got this whole 80s stuff, right? How do you guys feeling about the 80s setting? I don't know. AJ, what's your kind of take on that? Like,
I feel like I have to look at it as a big picture, because, you know, first thing we got was 50s, then 60s, 70s, 80s. It's going like decade by decade. And I honestly have to say my favorite type of sitcom like that is like the 50s, 60s, and then like 2000s. I never was a huge, you know, 90s, 80s, 70s sitcom fan. So, but as far as this show is concerned, like you said, I think it was a nice balance. Now that we're, you know, kind of deeper into the show, we're in episode 5, and, you know, we do see the reality and then what Wanda has created. So I'm appreciating the balance more than I'm appreciating the sitcom aspect of the show, if that makes sense.
You pointed out that you like the 50s and 60s type sitcoms.
Yeah, I'm a fan of those.
That's an unpopular opinion because every person I've had here has been saying, we didn't grow up in that generation. It's not really for us. No offense, it's more for the grandpas and grandmas to get involved.
I think Matt's trying to basically say it's a cold take, but he doesn't want to be mean.
I feel that. Like, I understand that, but I kind of grew up watching those kind of older shows with like my mom because she watched it when she was younger and she wanted to show me that, and we would sit there and watch I Love Lucy for hours. And it's a hot take. It's not something that everybody has done, but I feel like I can find an appreciation for it.
See, the thing is, I see why AJ is saying that, because with I know we're not in that generation. We ain't from the 50s and 60s, but you guys might have heard of Laurel and Hardy. It's like slapstick comedy. I grew up with that, and that's that's ancient. I mean, I didn't exist when that stuff was on TV, but I absolutely loved it. I used to watch it. I watched it with my family, and we love it. And I really enjoyed that, but it's not my era, not my time. Yeah. And I totally get that. You like it if you like it. But I feel like with specifically what they did in WandaVision for those episodes, it wasn't enticing. It wasn't like me and Matt was saying, it just didn't impact you, and it wasn't that funny. You just kind of, I don't know if it was not even necessarily the understanding. You just didn't get that hint of a spark of comedy, But fair enough if you like it, because you obviously find it funny. But like with the 70s, it was like, it was coming more to our time, and then 80s, and you're starting to understand a little bit more of what you grew up with, if that makes sense. So like, what inspired the 90s, what inspired the noughties. But like, generally, I think the vibe and the comedy in those episodes was just better. I think it was down to writing as well. But like, the decades thing, I feel like it's less focused now since they've got in the whole sword perspective. Like in the last episode, it changed quite a lot. Like you're seeing the 80s perspective, then suddenly back to sword, ratio changes. Like you're constantly dragged in with interest, and I think that's great because you're not like sucked into one thing. It's pulling you out constantly. So I think I did like this episode a little bit more because of the focus on sword. I think
I would agree.
I don't know about the whole. Do you guys think there was a lot that they showed from the 80s compared to like what they did with the 70s and like the 60s and the 50s?
Not as much. And I think that's a good thing. We're kind of getting away from the sitcom as much because we know what it is. At first we didn't really know what it was. We kind of were a little confused about where they were going with it. Now we kind of know. So it's time to start, it could still be there, but it's time to start, veering away from it a little bit. And I like what they've done.
I think I pointed this out. I want the setting. If they're going to go to the sitcom, have the setting, but still have that suspense and more weirder moments. And we got that in this episode.
We did. We
had more of those weird moments. It was Catherine Hahn. Like, should I take that again? That was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Weird.
Yeah, that was good.
And it was in Vision starting to realize stuff. I still got a bunch of questions. We got Captain Cowboy in the chat. What's up, guys? What's up?
Captain Cowboy.
So I got some questions, right? So, first of all, AJ, how do you feel in the show? I got you get your opinion.
I'm feeling it, and I was feeling it from the beginning. I was getting a little frustrated towards the beginning because they weren't giving us enough, and like you said, I feel like MCU fans are kind of a little spoiled. Like we got to have it right here, now, and it's got to be epic. But we weren't expecting like something that I don't know what we were expecting really, but I think we were feeling like it was going to be a little bit more straightforward. It wasn't going to be as much mystery. It was going to be a lot more epicness happening towards the beginning, but it's a little bit of a slow burn, like you said, and I'm appreciating it a lot. So I am feeling this show, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I do appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm saying that's a great point. I'm saying this right now, even though with the slow burn and how kind of frustrated we are with the show of the storytelling, we're really going to look back at this 5 years from now and be like, once we get those once the MCU, if they go back to more generic filmmaking, we're gonna go back to looking at this, but like, wow, it still holds up in a way.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to the quality of it, of
Mhm.
how like the storytelling was, you know what I'm saying? And it just, because I don't know if the MCU is gonna go back to kind of like that epic feel, blockbuster. You know, this feels just like a genre of being a mystery box, a slow burn, a sitcom, maybe a romance, whatever. You know,
it's its
a
own
thriller.
genre.
It's its
So
own
it's
genre.
interesting 'cause there might actually be more longevity with this show, and I didn't really see that at first. Because like, if I'm not liking it now, I don't see myself liking it too much in the future. But obviously, that was just based on a few episodes. Like by the ending of this series, we might adore it and be like, "Wow!" You're looking back, like they were just building onto something.
Yeah,
I think they're doing this slow burn, just the fact that something very big is happening, and I just hope it ain't like they're like exaggerating it, and then we're getting all this hype, because that'd really ruin it for, like you said, the MCU fans. I want the blockbuster action and that cinematic feel. But I think we will be rewarded. I think they just Marvel's kind of going, calm down, guys. You know, we're back with another phase. Just chill, hang in there. We're gonna come back with a bang, but we'll do it at the right time. And I think that will have more of an impact than just like going and all this stuff at the start. You know?
That still doesn't excuse of the payoff is not good. That payoff has to be good.
I feel like it will be.
It has to be.
So?
I feel like it will be.
I feel like the writing here is kind of clumsy when it comes to MCU standards. Like, okay, so here I go on a little tangent. I'm gonna go on a little tangent, right?
Okay.
Vision, does he have the Mind Stone in this reality?
No. Well, he has the powers.
Yeah.
You remember when in the first episode when his boss is choking and Wanda's like save him, he is able to take the.
So he has the Mind Stone.
Yeah, he can like phase through.
Unless that's just an illusion to him, and
I feel like
just Wanda's powers.
It might just be he is the illusion. It might be that. I don't know.
And obviously, nothing in this reality is probably. The people are clearly real, because you remember in the recent episode that office worker with Vision, he like wakes him up. He's like, "Oh my god, like you gotta save me from that woman." Yeah. They're clearly real people. It's just that they're like, they Sword said that there's missing people from Westview. So it's real, but I think the reality itself is like he is an illusion.
So in this reality, he does have the Mind Stone. This fake reality.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In the fake reality, yes, but in all actuality, I don't think he's alive. I think this.
Yeah, he's not alive.
Yeah, he's not alive. So
the thing is, you remember that scene where they cut the audio, but like he's walking out of Westview. I actually think like. You remember in the comics, like when they bring him back to life, he's lost his color and everything. Like he comes back to life, but he's like completely. He's like an android completely. He's got no sort of character. He's just stone cold guy. Like might be going that route when he leaves that reality, because technically he's dead, but maybe he's alive because Wanda kind of brought him back, and perhaps that's how he's alive. But yeah, that scene, AJ, we were talking about it last time. When you saw Vision. Like dead, and they just cut it, and then Wanda's like shaking her head, and then it goes back to normal. It's like,
and that part
the hell out of me. And I think that's teasing like Mephisto and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, AJ, what's your opinion of all like who's actually doing all this? Because we've been throwing out Mephisto. Are you in the Mephisto realm, or are you just like all Wanda?
I'm not. I am not a huge comic book reader, so I don't know a lot about the backstory of these, characters. Yeah. But I think there is it has to be a larger power, involved with this, because if it's just Wanda, I will be disappointed. I will definitely be disappointed if it's just Wanda, because we already kind of saw her as the villain in Civil War, and it kind of just feels like a rehash if she becomes the villain here in this show. But I don't know.
Yeah, Crawford, could we see White Vision from the comics of Vision from the comics? That's what Shamoon was.
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But I don't know, man. I just think I want to see Vision like being done after this. Quite frankly, I don't know if a White Vision going in. They could do some type of interpretation of that. But
I don't know. Hate Vision hard.
Yeah, you don't like Vision.
I don't like Vision, man. But I do have a lot of respect for him from this show. This show I have grown respect from Paul Bettany. His acting, I think it's been proved. And I always thought of this like maybe Paul Bettany acting from the previous movies has been kind of mediocre. And I don't know how you guys feel about it because he's playing an android. He's playing a robot. He's playing something that has no emotions. So it's kind of like
I think it's how the character's written rather than his acting, because I think he's a decent actor.
Yeah. I think his acting's great. Like I don't see any problem with it, Matt. I don't know if you're hating on the acting, but like if you feel like the writing might be a little bit different, fair enough. But I never think the problem was his acting. I mean, he smashed it. The way he puts the sound and the way he kind of portrays the character, he does it really well. I mean,
true.
I would say he was good.
I thought he was dope in Ultron, though. I thought he was dope.
Well, that's the first one, right?
Yeah.
So, and then we saw him, and he's kind of annoying in these other films, and then we see him, and that's one reason why I wasn't huge. I wasn't that excited for WandaVision because I wasn't a huge Vision fan. I do like Scarlet Witch a lot, but I wasn't a huge Vision fan because of those other movies that he was in, and then this show has kind of proven me that he has some range, and I really enjoyed to see how he kind of spoke up this last episode. So
he for surely stepped up, and it was a nice kind of like marriage type of a marriage story,
basically.
But Vision, I have respect for him. Looking back at it, it's mostly the writing. I never had a problem with Paul Bettany as Vision, and just the character, the way how he's ran into those movies was kind of a drag. And I feel like even here, the writing when it comes to MCU stuff is kind of sloppy. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up. Sword, right? Still don't know quite exactly what Sword is in this universe. The acting director, I know that we find out the acting director's intentions for this show, what he kind of is. Has kind of like resentment against Wanda, which leads to a confrontation outside the bubble, getting guns pointed to his head, which was cool. But I just feel like Jimmy Woo and Darcy being the fans is getting kind of sloppy, because like how did he know that Captain Marvel and Thanos were fighting? How did he know Wanda had Thanos in a standoff and crushed them up?
Well, I thought about that too. When they were saying it.
Perhaps like this.
Recording.
It's a good point. Someone must have seen it though. Someone must have gone on Instagram during the fight going,
It was Peter Parker.
It was Peter Parker.
Oh, 100% Peter.
You guys gotta see this.
Tom Holland, in fact, when Wanda is about to kill Batman.
Well, he did it. He did do that in Homecoming.
Yeah.
When he recorded himself in Civil War.
Yes. Oh my God, that's actually quite a funny theory. That.
I hope that's not the case. But I just feel like it's a bit sloppy when it comes to they're giving us expediting Wanda's power growth in a way. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, Captain Marvel, they kind of a thing where it's like, oh, Wanda almost killed Thanos, right? And they're kind of expediting like if they were us, the fans, which I didn't like that. I honestly didn't like that, because it's like,
Matt,
how do you guys
think about it? Maybe there were. I'm pretty sure a lot of the Avengers were. A few of them must have seen it, or someone in that battle must have seen Wanda was about to kill Thanos, and I think it's completely possible that they will bring it up, because like that's a big thing, to just kind of leave in the air. Like, remember when we started the series, we were like how did Vision come back? Was it like Wanda did some powers and then we see a scene? No, we just see her literally yeeting his dead body, and then we see it on the cameras and stuff. So like they explain that, but they explain that in episode 5. So I reckon what you're saying is hopefully they explain it, because that would be the biggest what if they don't.
I don't think they will, but I think that's kind of nitpicking. I think that
could be nitpicking, but yeah. That could be nitpicking. That was a bit of a problem for me. Is like they kind of just like, rushing up with her power scaling and trying to explain to us why she's powerful and and stuff like that. But we already seen it. I don't know. Like I can't imagine one of the Avengers like, oh yeah, this happened and then this happened. This is 9 days after Endgame, so I just don't see it.
Is it really? Did they say that it was 9 days?
It's around 9 days after Endgame, I believe.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't realize that.
Wow.
I guess I didn't.
Something like that in the alliance. Maybe
So
a
this
month.
must be before Far From
This
Home.
is before Far From Home. They confirmed it.
Okay.
Before Far From Home, after Endgame. I even saw a theory of the reason why Maria Hill said Doctor Strange was busy or some crap in Far From Home was because of this. Because of what's going on right here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
yeah, so that's a little interesting theories here and there. And I also got one more thing I want to bring up. Isn't it Vision? Okay, so Sword cut up Vision, right? They cut him up. Then they kind of took them apart.
I think that's what they show in the on the cameras.
I need to see that again. I want to look at that specific scene, but I think they were like, I think from all the angles you could see, like it was like he was on some sort of not stretcher, but like it's like they're almost like doing something with him. Probably like he is technically a robot, so like they are probably taking the bits out and stuff because they are probably trying to repair him.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it his body's made of pure vibranium?
Yeah.
Yes.
How can you cut that up?
And Thanos went through that shit like it was butter or something.
With an alien sword.
Or peanut butter jelly or whatever you call it.
Thanos cut off vibranium with an alien sword, but sword had the technology or not technology to cut off vibranium.
I don't know what they used.
To be honest, his head was already gone.
They didn't really get into that.
Yeah.
That's a stretch, Matt, bro. I think that's a stretch. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't
know who's thinking that deeply about it, though.
Yeah, it was a little nitpicky.
It's good to see that.
It is, but
yeah, it's like the MCU side I was kind of getting into. It felt very, that's like the most MCU it got from this episode when he showed all that stuff. Pretty much like just the the normal reality is like pretty much like the MCU. So I was getting into that. I guess that's nitpicky, but that's the fan in me. I was like, it's pure vibranium. Why is he getting cut up by Sword? I still don't understand where Sword is. Like I still that's a problem for me. I feel like the way how they introduce Sword needs to be explored more in future movies. Hopefully they will, because I still kind of like confused right now about it.
Well, the Sword, like the station that they're in, it has to be like a remote station because they set up right outside of Westview. So we don't know where like the exact facility is.
Yeah,
they showed the facility in episode 4, but this
where
they're at right now, where they're at right now is it's a remote facility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, AJ's spot on there because, like, the whole Sword thing that's supposed to be like intergalactic.
Yeah.
So in the comics, Shield is like threats on Earth, dealing with Earth. Sword is not just really Earth; it's anything above the cosmos. Like space. They're thinking more about threats because they know Thanos was such a threat. Like they got to think what else is out there. Right. So Sword is we're not. That scene at the end of Far From Home, the post-credit scene. That's the Sword that we need to see, but I think that's going to be safe for the films. We're getting like more of a smaller version of Sword or like a little insight to Sword, but I think they're going to build that up because, this is supposed to be like the new Shield to us. So it's only a matter of time until we see more. And you're right, I want to see more Sword.
I just kind of feel like the introduction hasn't been as solid or well structured as like something like Shield was. Like he got the post credit from Far From Home. It was like, okay, so you're like, what does that mean? Like, so Nick Fury was doing all this time, like what he was building ships or scrolls. They got to explore that, and hopefully they explore it soon because I don't see a movie in the future where they can explore it. Maybe
I think Eternals they're gonna explore that a lot more. Shield or Sword.
Yeah, because I mean, Eternals is apparently from what I remember they were saying, Eternals is obviously going to be like set way before anything that's happened at the MCU as we know it. And then they're going to actually catch up to Endgame. So perhaps it's literally the aftermath of what Thanos did, or even the fact that the blip, as they call it. So perhaps we will see, like, I want to see how they reacted to Thanos and all of that. Because they know Thanos.
Yeah, they do.
Thanos was an Eternal. So I think he's going to show up in the film.
He probably will.
It could be.
Yeah. Not as dense. Maybe he'll be like a smaller version.
Yeah.
But
sure.
let's see what Sora does. Let's see how they kind of like explain it more throughout these movies. Hopefully, it's still hopefully it's good. That's all I'm asking for.
I think this show is where they're going to establish Sword, because this is the first
Sora,
time.
but they're not going to really get into it too much. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we got a comment. Evan Peters. We got to talk about Evan Peters. Evan Peters, is he the GOAT? Is he better than what's it called? Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
How do you guys feel about
I really like Evan Peters. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but those X-Men films, they weren't all great. Some of them, X-Men Days of Future Past was good. I remember I was hearing AJ, you were saying like you preferred Dark Phoenix to New Mutants. New Mutants was trash. Like, there's so much wrong with it.
I did like Dark Phoenix more than
I agree though. Like, that Dark Phoenix was slightly better. I mean, the Magneto scenes and stuff like that were great. But like, Quicksilver has been the one thing from that I've enjoyed. Every scene he's had, I've enjoyed it. And like, I'm hoping they bring him in, but of course, we've never really seen them touch upon an actor from the X-Men films like that.
Yeah,
it's like that scene in Crisis on Infinite Earths on the DC crossover, like with DCEU Flash and then that Flash, and it was like that similarity. Like, is this are they going to use that Quicksilver? And I think the MCU are kind of playing with us, like they're introducing the multiverse, defo. But we don't know if this is actually the entry point to it, or if it's just teasing Doctor Strange 2, because that was obviously going to show everything of the multiverse. Hopefully we see the Spider-Mans in that and all that crazy stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's actually save Evan Peters. We gotta really get into this episode, right? So this episode does something that I kind of had a problem with, and it's kind of like I like the little life lesson kind of had with the dog. The dog was a plot device. But kind of
Sparky.
Yeah, Sparky. It kind of told me that you have this power, you have these powers, but you got to use them responsibility. You have to be responsible with your powers. Just because he's dead doesn't mean you got to bring him back. And it kind of relates to what Wanda did with Vision. So it was a nice little moment there. How do you guys feel about the kids so far? Because I thought Billy and Tommy, as like 6 years old, were cute. They're adorable. Not mispronouncing words and stuff. And then growing up as 10 years old. How you guys feel about that?
I find it funny. Like, I like their scenes, and I like the fact that they, when Wanda's like, you have to be at least 10, because Wanda and Vision are kind of like, how old do they have to be? And then they just go to 10. They just go to being 10 years old, and then they have the dog. I find that hilarious, and they were cool. I don't know too much about them in the comics, because I haven't really read much of Wanda or Vision's like comics. But I know that obviously like these guys become way more powerful and they inherit their powers. So I can't wait to see like more of them in the future. And they're definitely teasing new Avengers. Like, throughout the MCU, we've seen younger characters sort of grow up, and it's like Ant-Man's daughter Cassie in Endgame. She had that time jump, and they've got Ironheart coming in with Disney Plus, and those are these other characters. So we're definitely gonna get.
I'm interested in Ironheart.
Right.
Is Ironheart going to be a animated series or like a live action?
I think it's live action. No, I think it's live action. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. But no, I thought the kids are cool. I still don't understand how like their powers work. They could just grow up. Like, it's. I don't know. I don't know. If that's a nitpicky section. They just grow up to 10 years old. Grow
that
up
might
to
just be an MCU thing.
Yeah. But they gotta explain that more.
It might be a Westview thing. I don't know.
Could be. Maybe.
Maybe
they're mutants. Maybe they're. I don't know. It could be something. This show is giving us a lot of questions. And they gotta give us those answers later on. Where was Quicksilver and Dark Phoenix?
He wasn't in it. I don't think he was in it.
In Dark Phoenix?
I swear,
he wasn't in Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, he was.
They referred to him though. I swear there was a reference. I can't remember though.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. He was.
No, he was, because he saved those people on the spaceship. Yeah, he was in it. He was in it. But they didn't use him for the rest of the movie though.
He was in the first half of it.
Yeah, he was like in the first few minutes of the movie, but didn't really,
I feel like a right idiot. I honestly feel like a right idiot because last year when it came out, I got invited to this event in London. It was like a fan event, and you basically got a sneak peek of X-Men Dark Phoenix, and I actually saw that exact scene where they go on the ship, and then they kind of teased that. But I completely forgot actually he was in the film. I mean, I think that's how much I don't like the film. I just couldn't really remember much.
He wasn't in the majority. He wasn't in the majority of the film, though.
Yeah,
he was like in that scene.
Right.
Yeah.
Crawford says New Mutants is spooky. It's a 301, man. I'm sorry. I really like the concept, but I gotta defend that movie. I don't know about you guys. Dark Phoenix is like more of a kind of like a stabbing in the heart. It was like just because it was X-Men. New Mutants is like I could care less. New Mutants do what you gotta do. X-Men though.
New Mutants was X-Men.
I mean like the X-Men team.
I'm trying to think. The best way to put New Mutants was, let's take X-Men and just de-age these little mothers, and then just make a film. That's what I feel like they did.
I'm not gonna lie though, it was a horror movie, but the horror was pretty bad. It was.
I think if they would have leaned into the horror aspect of the film more, it would have been a lot better. But they kind of tried to make it like really sci-fi-esque and like make a huge bear and just like
don't get me wrong. There's real problems with that movie, but for some reason I just really dig the concept. I just got to give them credit for that more than Dark Phoenix, because Dark Phoenix, I don't want to get into too much into it, but Dark Phoenix was like the X-Men team, and then you fumble that story again with the Dark Phoenix. There's more stakes when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? When you're taking on that type of story. So mid-level media, what's up, man? What's up, guys?
Ken. What's up, man?
Incredible episode, Ken from mid-level media. Tell me what your thoughts on the episode. We're talking about it here. So anything you guys want to we pretty much getting the same things here. The nosy neighbor coming in. I think Catherine Hahn has been great in this show. I think she's been acting great. So in depth when it comes to she's really playing that sitcom stuff up her alley, and it's just she's been great. The acting
she's good in comedy and drama, honestly.
Yeah. And the kids are cool. Nothing too much. It was just
Monica?
good. Monica Rambeau, yeah. So one thing I found interesting was when they brought up Captain Marvel, you kind of saw her kind of like Captain Marvel.
She said we're not talking about her.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. It's literally because just the way she kind of roasted her. I think she might hold a grudge all those years Carol went, and she was obviously a young girl in that film, so she's she pretty much yeeted me and just left.
Just left me and my mom to fend for ourselves.
And then Maria passed away during the time in during I think the 2 years during the 5-year time jump before in Endgame. So that must have really annoyed her even more.
That could be
I want to see more. I want to see more of her.
That could be really good. Trying to.
I like her so far. I think she's great
too. If they do bring that up,
I would like to see more of Maria. Maybe do some more some flashbacks to Maria.
I think they will, for the sake of storytelling and stuff. That would make sense. And I think for Monica as well, that would be important for her story. Matt, you were saying you preferred Monica instantly over Carol, didn't you? The way they introduced her.
I'm liking her. She has more emotions. She
you said she was
something so far that hasn't had me rolling my eyes or cringe. So that's a positive.
She was thick as well.
Legs. But also too, we're talking about Shamoon. How is she gonna get her powers? I think this is the explanation right here. We got that scene where they talk about, I'm full. What was it again? Something about how she got it.
The scene when she was talking about how she felt.
Yeah.
Is that when Hayward's debriefing everyone, or are you talking about the other scene? Because initially we were is it the last stream we said it? we were saying that obviously, Monica gets her powers at some point, like she does in the comics. It's Maria was Photon, and she has pretty much similar powers to Captain Marvel, and Monica has those powers. She has like energy. I think she has like energy blast, or like she can control energy and manipulate it in different ways. And I think
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Wanda threw her through the reality. It might have triggered something, and she felt different coming in and out. But that just simply might have been because she exited and kind of screwed with her head. But that might create something in the MCU. It might be a different way of doing it as well.
Well, if you remember, she had some scans afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they were saying that something didn't show up correctly. So they think that the machine is broken.
Yes.
So that might, indicate that she has some powers as well. Maybe from that blast that, Wanda did. Yeah. Blasted her out of Westview.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that per se, like her getting her powers from Wanda. I think that's kind of, it could be lazy, but like I said, they got to explain the reality, the bubble, what comes inside. Maybe people who come out get powers. Who knows? They got to really go in depth.
I think it'd be more of a trigger rather than like, that's it. Like you said, it's lazy writing, as Deadpool pretty much said. You don't want to just have, her coming out of reality, bang, that's her powers. Now we're just going to see how it comes. Like, I agree. I just want them to fully go into it. Like, well, they did that with Carol, so surely they do the same thing with Monica. Like, explain.
They will. But it's like we said, we have to, accept that this is a TV show and wait week to week. I know we don't want to wait, but we kind of have to.
But let's just hope they explain the reality of Westview and how that works coming at like the aftermath of it or the pre-math of it. So Connor says, what do you think will happen with Quicksilver for the rest of the series? Any thoughts on that?
I don't think
honestly, this is my personal opinion or personal thoughts. I don't think that he's going to have a huge part. I think he might come in for an episode or so, but I don't think he's going to be, a main character. If he is, that'd be cool, but I don't think so.
Sadly, he's never been a main character, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. I don't know.
Shamoon?
I mean, I think that's a really good question because
it is.
All of us want to know, what the hell is he going to do? He's back. Like, is this going to, I mean, if they're going into the next decade, they're going into the 90s now, which I think that should be the Halloween episode because we haven't seen that yet. Surely, Quicksilver's just kind of joining them on it. I mean, there's so many questions to ask. Like, is he going to stay with Wanda? Is he just going to pop in and out like the neighbor did? Is he just going to chill and then just like speed off like he would? Like, I think it could be Mephisto. I think we might see if that's the case. I think we're going to see things like you can tell it's not him, and he's been recast as well. They take the mick out of that. So
I do like that joke that Darcy threw out. They recast Pietro. She's just a fan.
She's a fan.
And Darcy are just fans. They're just us saying things that we.
If you think about it, if Wanda was so shocked when she saw Quicksilver, and obviously like, that's my brother, but my brother's back, but that's he doesn't look like him, So that is Wanda hugged him, but she's kind of like whoa, what? At the same time. So it could be, if this isn't actually Quicksilver, imagine what it would do to Wanda, because it's like, did you see how she got when Monica said to in that episode, the 70s one, like, oh, Ultron killed your brother Pietro, and she goes, wait, what did you say? You see how she like yeeted her out of that place? Imagine if she finds out that this isn't actually her brother actually ain't back, and it might be another version, but it's still not him. Like, that could trigger her to becoming more emotional and more angry. And like, the concepts in the show is like finding those vulnerabilities throughout Wanda. And I think that is another vulnerability. Her brother's back. How's she going to react to that? So we'll find out, I think.
This is something that I've been thinking. I don't know if this is something that's, actually has happened, but I feel like something happened to Wanda to where, her powers, maybe exploded or something, and she was unconscious of, what she was doing with Westfield or Westview. I keep calling it Westfield, Westview. And even like kind of sparked the multiverse. That's why we see Pietro. And even Vision said it himself, like in this episode, like, I have to believe that this was part of your subconscious at first. And now you're like trying to maintain it. But I don't know if Wanda was in her right mind when she went and stole Vision's body. I don't think she really was thinking straight.
No, she lost it after the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she was being mind controlled. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know so far.
Like, what I think a lot of people definitely think is Mephisto's manipulating her and like with her emotions, and like she's just kind of doing things without, like, I'm pretty sure Wanda seems quite like good at heart. Like she probably doesn't want to, the reaction to that guy in the office. He was like, "Oh, that woman, please help me," to Vision. I don't think she's aware that that's happening, and I think that's because she doesn't know. And I think she thinks all the people in that reality are probably like, yeah, they're just there. But I don't think she realizes that there's real people being or going through suffering with like kind of being kidnapped. It's almost like slaves, like kind of stuck there. And they can't leave the reality and everything. So I think you're right.
She knows something, but I think she's just so happy with having Vision back that where she's like trying to ignore it and then kind of trying to maintain this, fake reality that she's, caused. Yeah.
Right. But my thoughts, let's actually get to these comments first. Ken, sorry, can't pronounce it. Mid-level media. Okay, mid-level media. Love how the show started so small and seamlessly inconsequential. Is that good?
You got it.
Now has grown into such a stakes MCU level production. I think that's how it's going so far. It's like this slow burn and building up to something big. But each episode is starting to feel like the stakes are getting higher, and I'm excited to see where they go from that, especially here from episode 5. I think episode 5 really took the step up. That's just how the season's going so far. So so I expect a big ending, in a rewarding one. Could we see Scarlet Witch meet her father?
That would be mad.
But they're not connected. See, here's the thing with the multiverse, right? And I'm gonna have a huge problem with this, right? This is gonna be another little tangent. I don't know if this is gonna be a nitpick. You guys want to call it that?
We'll see.
Okay, so hear me out. So we have heard the reports. The reports are out. Alfred Molina is coming back to Doc Ock, right? As I want to say the MCU version, or Jamie Foxx. This is a better example. Jamie Foxx said that he's going to come back in Spider-Man 3, but not Blue. So he's going to be, I guess you want to say, the MCU interpretation of Jamie Foxx, Sony Electro. So does that mean that, and we saw it before with Jamie Foxx, not Jamie Foxx, J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons was in as Sony Sam Raimi Spider-Man, but as JJ, but he's over here as the J.K. Simmons, JJ, MCU Spider-Man. Same person, looks the same, but maybe different attitudes, but same kind of like person, same actor.
He was bold as well. So like, and he's still part of the Daily Bugle, so it's like slight differences.
So would that mean that multiverse is a thing where it's like you're the same person, you're playing the same character, you're the same actor, you're the same character, but you're a little bit different. Maybe you have a different attribute. Maybe you have a different costume, different likeness. You get what I'm saying? Like, does that like kind of like what that now makes sense? If it's like if it's Quicksilver from this universe, that's Aaron Taylor Johnson, but there's a Quicksilver from a different multiverse, but it's Evan Peters. That doesn't add up.
I think. He was taken from a different universe and brought in. That's what I feel like. I don't think I don't think that it's the same character from this world. He's brought in from a different franchise ultimately, but from a different universe in the series. Multiverse stuff always gets kind of clunky and confusing, but
I think about it was like Peter Parker.
Yeah.
That was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You've got Andrew Garfield, you've got Tobey Maguire, you've got Tom Holland. They're the same person, different but same. That's the best way of looking at it. They are, like AJ said it perfectly. They're from another universe, so they're not going to be the same person. They're going to be slightly different, but essentially, Peter Parker. They're Peter Parker, but they're not. That makes sense.
Right.
So that's why it's confusing. But I think it's more confusing because MCU. We're like, okay, multiverse. Yeah, how's the concept going to work within this universe? Because we haven't really seen it before.
Yeah.
So,
unless it's actually like Jamie Foxx, Electro strictly from that universe, and he comes into the MCU, then I guess that makes sense.
I think he, I don't know. I think that he might be.
It won't be consistent with the rules of the multiverse. You want to say?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. It's tough to say because we do have J.K. Simmons, and I don't think that he was brought in from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe into the MCU. I think that's just the MCU's version.
That's my point.
Yeah.
If the MCU version is going to be the same actor from the same, it's going to be the same actor. You're going to look the same, but you're going to maybe have a different costumes, whatever.
Yeah.
I won't be consistent with this knowledge of Aaron Taylor Johnson's not Evan Peters, if that makes sense.
I don't know.
It's a little right. Here's the logic.
It's confusing.
So
it's confusing.
It is.
It is confusing. But this Pietro is not the one Wanda obviously grew up with, the one that she knows as Quicksilver. But it's the exact same person, but from another universe. That's how you got to see it. So essentially, it's the same person, but it's like, wait, you're my brother? That's why she was shocked.
He's a doppelganger.
Yeah, essentially.
Basically.
He didn't look the exact same. Like, you can see a clear difference. They look similar, but they're not the same. Like I said, it's mind-boggling. And, I'm really thinking this is definitely teasing the Doctor Strange film because it's called the Multiverse of Madness. So, like, imagine if Jamie Foxx's Electro, all those other Spider-Men, possibly Chris Evans as fantastic. What's his name? Human Torch. If they do that, or that'd be hilarious. If they did that,
crazy.
Essentially, like I think that film is going to it's the multiverse going to go crazy. So they're going to bring back people, but imagine Human Torch. Imagine Michael B. Jordan's Human Torch seeing Chris Evans. That'd be hilarious.
You get what I'm saying? Like it could be too much. Like
it
won't add up.
Black hair.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have to be very careful on how they write that.
Be careful.
Yeah,
but look, I have hope for Sam Raimi. Doctor Strange holding that down. I'm fine with that. I think he'll do a good job. But Sony's Spider-Man 3 is going to be the midpoint of this little multiverse phase. You want to say? I don't know what's gonna hold up. I think we're gonna be like WandaVision, yeah. Spider-Man 3, then Doctor Strange, yeah. Like this will you know what I'm saying? Like this is the multiverse of madness.
It's
so
like
let's see how
waves, essentially up and down, right? But I'm hoping it's all good. I don't want obviously there'll be a film where you hate. There'll be one film that wasn't strong. Like this 23 films in the MCU, in the Infinity Saga, like there was one or two that weren't good. Like for me, Thor 2 and Captain Marvel, but the rest I think were great.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not quite them. But I know AJ liked Captain Marvel, so I'm not hating on AJ.
I would say Incredible Hulk was kind of lower too.
Actually, no, that's a good point. Now that was like, Hulk scenes are good, but it was a bit poor. Yeah,
the actual film, the Edward Norton film.
Yeah. So it's long. We've been here for 50 minutes, but I got to get to one more big point. This is a big one, right? That kind of pointed out when I was watching the episode. So Evan Peters, in my opinion, that whole scene right there could have been it was out of Wanda's control, right? She didn't ring the doorbell. She didn't know Quicksilver was going to come back. So who's really doing that? That tells me that Mephisto has to be the one who's up to this. Or if anything, Evan Peters is Mephisto.
Shall I tell you who it really is?
Who?
Thanos.
Man, I don't know. I doubt it, but
I'm just playing. I'm playing.
If you look at the scene,
it's Mephisto.
Right. If you really look at that scene, she wasn't in control of that moment. She wasn't in control. She was shocked to see Evan Peters, Quicksilver to come back. So who really is in control. I still like how they tossing up in the air, but it probably could be Mephisto. It could be Agnes, the nosy neighbor, because she's
we
been
can't forget Agnes.
she's been kind of fishy too. She did. She didn't kill that dog.
Wait,
She
she was more fishy this episode.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
She did some weird stuff.
Identified her.
Did you see the thing with the dog? Like she said that to Wanda about Sparky, or he was like, yeah, the bushes, and then how did she know about there was something that she knew that Wanda never told her, and it's kind of weird. Like she knew stuff that Wanda. She didn't react to the fact Vision changed from his human look to his android look, and like she just pretends like it's nothing, and Wanda's like, oh, she won't notice, but
did she see that? She did. I don't think she saw that. I don't think she saw that. I don't think she saw that he changed, but she did see the kids grow up.
That's another thing.
Age up. She did see that. So
I mean, she's definitely seeing something though. She knows something, so that's what we know.
But she also is being mind controlled, so I don't know.
Well, you got a point because remember Vision, in that trailer, I think it was like the first trailer, like Vision's he like presses on her head and then like wakes her up. And she's gone like, where am I? So it's just like how Vision did it in the last episode. So I think he's gonna start waking up more people perhaps. And
I can see that.
I'm curious how Sword's gonna try and get in. Like, are they gonna just rampage, Westview with? They gotta try and really break it down because they try and get in it in that shot, and then Wanda and Vision are like, we need to stop them, but then we kind of have to help these people because I don't know how it's gonna affect the reality if these guys come swarming in.
Yeah, so, I feel like they have to be more careful. Even with that drone, that was kind of risky. To have that drone because they didn't know what she was gonna do. She could have came out of the Westview and started pulverizing people. Like,
I'm not gonna lie,
they didn't know.
I'm not gonna lie, but they heard what she did to Thanos. So why are they messing with her?
They're like toying with her. I'm like,
why would you toy with a lion? Like, come on, man, don't be playing. Wanda nearly killed Thanos, right?
Right.
And they're going, all right, let's send a little plane in just to see what's up.
I think it's their job, though. That's their job. They got to handle.
Yeah, but
they should have been smarter. They should have been smarter than that, though.
A little bit. Yeah, right.
They should have known like a little drone wasn't going to take her out. That wasn't smart.
He just said fire, huh? It's like, oh, fire. Yeah, that was a bit.
It's like you were saying about the writing, the way they introduced Sword. It's kind of like taking the Mitgar of Sword, like, let's send a little plane. I understand though, it's like they're trying to be discreet, but bro, showing a camera and looking at Wanda is not going to make it look discreet, is it? Like,
no, not at all, not at all.
But there's a little line of dialogue that can go over your head, and it kind of played into that sitcom role of Agnes saying, "Oh, kids, you can't control them." Why she was getting at those kids, right? She wanted those kids by herself. Why? She was trying to control them, maybe manipulate them at a young age.
Wait, what was it?
There was a part where there was a part where they're not babies, right? They look behind. They're 7-year-olds, whatever. Okay. Then next thing you know, you see Agnes. So right now, Vision and Wanda are having like an exchange.
Yeah,
Agnes, and then his phone dropped.
Bro, I don't know what happened there. It's all right. Something got tangled, I think, under my desk. We're good.
Okay. And
Wanda and Vision are having an exchange, and then they don't hear the babies crying anymore. Is that what you're talking about?
Agnes with the kids, and then next thing you know, you see her kind of lost. Like, oh man, like kids, you can't control them.
Well, she was like.
They grew up or some crap.
They grew up. They were in the kitchen and she was sitting there like drinking a drink or whatever. She's like, kids, you can't control them.
But I kind of feel like it was a thing where it's like maybe she was trying to control them. Maybe she was talking to them. Maybe she was trying to manipulate them at it. Maybe. I mean, she's trying to be around them. She killed her dog. That dog didn't eat no poison. She killed her. Come on. Let's be real.
Is that what they said? I think I might have missed that. Okay. For some reason, I thought it got hit by a car.
Definitely killed the dog. I agree. Like, it had to be.
Really?
And maybe she wants them to grow up. Who knows? But I feel like they're trying to get to those kids for a bigger reason. Those kids are bigger than what we think, and the little dialogue like that can't go over your head because it seems like sitcom dialogue. But that's why I kind of appreciate the show is that they have like these little moments that you just can't let it go over your head, and like watching later on, you're gonna be like, oh, that's what it really meant. You know what I'm saying? And then you get filled into that sitcom role.
Oh, that's one thing I want to ask you guys. That's a good point. With the commercials, what do you guys think about the commercials? I really enjoy them. I like the commercials.
I like them. Oh, bro, I'm so glad you said it. The last one I didn't really get Lagos or something.
That's where in Civil War, you remember where Scarlet Witch, it explodes. That's where it was in Lagos, and like the end phrase, they said Lagos for times you make a mess, but you didn't mean to.
Again, I relate. All these ads, they all relate to Wanda, so I think that's the easiest way to figure out what they mean. Like the Hydra soak thing, mind control.
Yeah.
I mean, it really hits the nail on the head there, man. I love the ads. They're hilarious as well. I love them.
They are.
Can't wait for the next one.
Right. No, they've been great. I think this one was kind of the weakest one, if anything.
Really? Okay.
I think so. I kind of think so.
I thought the Watch one was the weakest one.
I think my favorite one has to be the Tony Stark one, the toaster.
The toaster was dope.
That was like a nice one.
But what do you guys feel about the Watch? I don't think I understood the Watch.
It was Von Strucker.
Okay. I thought it was made by Hydra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was Strucker. It even had the Hydra logo right there. So
I saw the logo.
Yeah. So Connor, all the heroes will have to probably save the multiverse from Galactus at some point.
Yeah, that's probably the next.
Yeah, they're building up to Galactus.
I don't want Galactus to be our next.
Kang the Conqueror is coming in Ant-Man's film. We've got. I thought he was going to be in Loki, but I don't think he will be then. We've got. Obviously, we might see Dormammu again.
Yeah, we probably will.
I feel like we'll see, the Celestials and like the Living Tribunal, those kind of things, because they were going to introduce the Living Tribunal in Infinity War, but they decided not to because they thought it'd F with people's heads a bit too much. Like you're throwing Thanos there already. Now we're going to see Living Tribunal. So I think I think they left that for Multiverse.
I think that was smart.
Yeah, right. There's so many villains like with Fantastic Four. Are they going to do a Galactus again, or are they going to do Annihilus, or are they going to bring in another villain? Super Skrull. They're doing the Skrull thing. Secret Invasion. That perhaps will be in that. Like the next big villains are going to be probably more fun because they're not the ones that we kind of they're not like so repetitive. You know what I mean? Like your classic villains, but these guys are like the big mamas of the villains. You got Kang's about time travel, and Annihilus has his own type of race. I mean, that's quite crazy. Think about it.
Yeah.
Like they're more like near Thanos level as well. Like Thanos was on his own with all the other villains. Like Ultron wasn't quite like the Ultron in the comics, but Thanos was the man of that saga. You can't mess with them, but then they won. But yeah, the next. Generally, what do you guys think of like the next villains for this like phase?
You know what? This is something I've been thinking about for a little bit. I don't know if this would be accepted in the MCU fandom or whatever, but I was thinking maybe some original villains, written villains that might not be from comics. Kind of just like from like Guardians of the Galaxy. That wasn't from an original comic. That was straight written. So I wonder if they played around with that. That might be.
They're definitely trying to make. I think they're trying to make more names. Like, let's be honest. None of us knew Guardians of the Galaxy before the films. Like,
right.
You may have seen it, but you never gone. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, like. That became a household name because of James Gunn and how great they made it in the MCU. You've got a point. I think they're trying to touch on more storylines that are like not so, like you said, originals.
Yeah.
So I think that's why sometimes people are like, why is the MCU so different in some ways? Because they're probably touching on storylines that aren't like original. Like I'm trying to think one of them, for example, like think about what they're doing now with a lot of the shows.
Yeah.
Some of them are original, but some of them aren't. Yeah. So it's like a good mix. So yeah, I'm just excited to see like the introductions to these things.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think about the villains, Matt?
I think I don't know about original villains. Like if you're talking about like Ego, he's still from the comics. They just changed it up like a whole bit. Ronan was still from the comics, so they're still getting stuff from the comics. Like you're talking about like straight original, made up characters. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go that route. I think this little phase is gonna be like Mephisto, Kane, the Secret Invasion, so Skrulls. I think they're waiting for like the Doctor Dooms, the Galactus for Phase 5 or 6 and above. But yeah, I think
definitely Doom.
Yeah, definitely Doom. I want him to be the Thanos. I don't know about Galactus. Maybe he's a side piece because I think
I want to see a good Galactus.
I want to see Galactus too, but I just don't make him like the same, because you can't make a guy who's like coming to Earth build up for that. All these movies. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe Doctor Doom could be kind of like the one who can introduce you to that. You know what I'm saying?
Think about it. Like that's what I think they were doing with the Fantastic Four films that flopped. But I mean, I'm still annoyed at the fact that Galactus was literally like a shadow. Like we didn't even see his face or literally all of his figure. You just see that cloud and you can just see his shadow. Like I genuinely want to see his face. I want to hear his voice. That's why we all want to see, like they did in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. Like I want to see the heroes fighting this big mother.
Yeah. So we got Crawford. I have one more question. If you're still in the video and it's still in the stream, tell me the question. We would love to answer the question or talk about your question, but that's if you're still in the stream. But let's go ahead and get into our highlight moment of the episode. So highlight moment starting with
we really dragged that one.
AJ, there's a lot to talk about.
I would have to say my highlight moment was probably, this might not be a popular opinion, but when Scarlet Witch came out of the bubble, I was like, it took me by surprise. I didn't think she was gonna actually do that. I didn't know that she even really knew that she could get out of the bubble. And that was a huge part. Yeah, I mean the bubble, the force field, you know what I mean.
I just find it funny because I thought of like COVID and stuff, and I know they're calling it the bubble.
She's quarantined. She's quarantined. But yeah, like when she came out, that was a huge part to me. That was probably my highlight moment.
That was a pretty sick moment. Like that's actually a pretty good one. Matt, what was yours?
Let me go with the little life lesson they have, the little conversation between Wanda and the kids. I really like that. It felt kind of like something I was missing. It kind of had like little substance to it because it kind of, of course, dated back to Wanda. It kind of resonated with her, and the kids were learning a pretty valuable lesson as being a young superhero. You have these powers, but the way how to use them, that's all that really matters. The responsibility of having these powers. So that was my favorite moment overall in the episode. I'm surprised we weren't going on Quicksilver, because I don't know about you, I wasn't real like, oh my god, shocked about it. But
I'd seen stuff about it, and that's one thing I hate about just everything. Everybody gets the news and stuff like that. I mean, I like news. I like what you do, Matt. But like also like the rumors and stuff. The rumors and stuff. I'm just like, I wanted to be like extra surprised about that. Right. But I had heard about that like a week ago, like that maybe Evan Peters might make an appearance. It's kind of rumored, and I'm just like, okay.
I get that, AJ. I get what you mean. Like I heard that, what was it? Even before they started filming WandaVision, I think there was that initial rumor like, oh, he's gonna show up or something. But I was like, nah, ain't gonna happen.
yeah. I was thinking that too. I was like, nah, they ain't gonna do that, but they did it.
Shamoon, you got your highlight moment, or?
I was gonna say the Quicksilver moment. I mean, I was like, oh my god, it's actually happening. I went crazy. Like I didn't upload my reaction, but it took me by surprise because it's more of like, seeing is believing, and we finally saw that, and it just blew my mind because like, multiverse confirmed. I don't know if you saw Soup's reaction. He had a brilliant reaction to that.
No, I didn't see it. I bet he went crazy.
Oh, bro, I love his energy. And yeah, we I mean, it does sound like pretty like I'm a casual or something. Oh, Evan Peters, Quicksilver, but it actually blew my mind, so I have to go with that.
Okay.
I like how we all three of us had a different highlight moment. That was
Well, Sparky dying, that's a pretty big moment.
Sparky was getting into stuff though. He almost died when he. Did you see that picture?
Yeah, Sparky. That's
actually a good point. I mean, that's what they called him, Sparky, but he'd been up to stuff. Yeah.
Right. So let's get into our final grades, starting with AJ. Final grades.
Final grades. This was probably my favorite episode so far. I would give it a 9 out of 10. A solid 9 out of 10. I liked it a lot.
It's like an A.
Yeah, definitely an A. I'm sorry, I forget that you do letter grades. So I would give it maybe an A minus. It wasn't like perfect because we are still waiting on, it's still a mystery there, and it's kind of like up in the air. So I would give it an A minus still, but yeah, it was a good episode. Probably the best of the season so far.
Shamoon.
Damn, like I remember last episode, I was like, that was my favorite episode so far, but I mean, this episode topped that. So what did I say last time? Did I not say? I think I said A.
You said A for episode 4.
Right. I would have to. I mean, I would probably change that rating for the last episode because I wouldn't say this was the best, best thing I've ever seen. So I'd give it probably an A again. But it's like it was better than the last episode. But I don't know if it was A+, the perfect episode, like everything was perfect about it. But I think A's pretty good considering the episode. So yeah, I'm gonna go there.
And that's another A from Shamoon. Let's see next week if he changes up back to, I don't know, A minus or something. Because that's how overall, this is how the show has been going. He's like, it's getting good. But I'm gonna be for real. So this actually was a good episode. This was actually a good episode. I think so far I've been rating him like a C+, B minus, B. This is gonna be my first B+ of the show so far. I really dig the episode. It was good pacing, good a little good storytelling here and there, a little good plot beats. I guess you're looking back at it, the little nitpicking moments I had, yeah, maybe didn't affect it too much, but I kind of feel like they're kind of rushing a bit of that story of Wanda with her strength and trying to expedite her strength levels, which doesn't need to be expedited because she has a whole town locked up. So that's going to be my grade for that. And that's going to be it for this portion of the stream, our WandaVision spoiler talk. So we're actually going to get into a reaction. I don't know, Shamoon, have you seen it? Have you guys seen it for the first time?
I saw it. Yeah. I did a reaction. I'll probably post it later today, but
I didn't do a whole. No, actually, no. I did record all my reaction, but I did upload that Quicksilver moment, but it got taken down because of copyright. So I just gotta work a.
I think he's talking about Falcon Winter Soldier. Falcon Winter Soldier trailer from.
I was talking about. I was talking about WandaVision, the episode.
No.
Oh no, I need to upload that Falcon Winter Soldier one, but the trailer for that was. I was still expecting a bit more US Agent, but I was still happy with it. The action looked pretty good.
You guys want to check it out?
Yeah, you can go ahead and throw it on.
Yeah, why not?
Let's go ahead and check this out and discuss a little bit about Falcon Winter Soldier. 3, 2, 1.
So, who would like to start? Mr. Barnes, why does Sam aggravate you?
15 seconds to drop. So what's our plan? Great.
Superheroes cannot be allowed to exist. I have no intention to leave my work unfinished.
That mask.
Yeah, it's cool.
The world's upside down right now.
I've noticed something I didn't the first time. I'll tell you after. Fast and Furious kind of vibe right here.
Oh yeah? What is it? Is you ready?
Here we go again, huh?
I'm glad she's back.
Yeah, me too. She handed him too.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
Hello, girl, kick your ass.
That's Black Panther, man.
Yeah.
Gotta get that first shot up before that bullet hit me.
See, that wasn't so hard.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready?
Okay.
You say you ready.
What are you doing?
Whole squad ready. Ready?
Are you having a staring contest?
Are you ready? Ready? Is you ready?
Just blink. Sweet Jesus. I mean, how old are you?
I feel like they wasted like 10 seconds on that bit. Like, show us more of something else.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of that end scene at all.
Yeah.
You need to leave in a buzz, like bit of US agent, like he says something. What the fuck show us US agent?
So overall, I'm of course excited for the show. It's my second most anticipated project coming up from Marvel Studios, but that trailer to me was kind of lackluster a bit. I'll be honest. I wasn't.
One.
I think the first trailer was the best trailer so far from we got from Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I feel like, first of all, the action looks cool. Would like to see, like you said, U.S. agent more. And my biggest, I know this is just a small amount of his motivation, but if Baron Zemo's motivation is I must kill all heroes, you know, having that he's pretty much, I don't want to play that kind of like generic villain. I need to kill the heroes because I need to kill the heroes. I think that's kind of weak. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I feel like that was his plan in Civil War too. It was kind of, I don't know, lacking.
He wanted to destroy the Avengers. Like he couldn't physically, but you know, he could destroy their chemistry. He probably feels like he can compete with like maybe Bucky and Sam. Like
I feel like in Civil War it was more personal because he had more of a vendetta against Iron Man and Cap because what happened, just the whole entire Avengers group because of what happened. You know, his family died, and it was more personal. I feel like this is not personal. I don't know. Maybe his mentality changed over time that he needs to get rid of the heroes. But let's see how they do it. Let's see if he's how does he get in full in power. But
I think they need to have more villains in this season other than Zemo. I don't think he should be the only villain.
I feel like Zemo and like US agent, like US agent is you know, essentially he is like a villain in a way, but more like an anti-hero. But I feel like he's gonna like help Bucky and Sam. I mean, I think behind the scenes, I think you even posted about it, Matt. There you could see like Bucky pulling people out of I think the hostages, and I think he's fighting with US agents. So I think he's gonna pose as a threat because you know the Shield is, according to the government, is their property.
Right.
So like he's gonna be from the government. They're gonna try and get the Shield off them, and then you're gonna have Zemo. I think there's two villains. So one is for Bucky and one is for Sam. But then they have to work together to overcome them. So Zemo for Bucky, because you know he mind controlled him. It's like he knows him well. And then with Sam, it's another Captain America type figure. Even though Steve gave me the Shield, the government are up my ass. So I'm actually quite excited to see how they come together. And you know, Sam and Bucky, they're not the best of friends. Like that's going to build over the series, and you'll see how they get that chemistry. But I'm hoping they get that figured out in like the first 2 episodes because there's only 6 episodes of this series, and they're an hour long. So that's dope.
Yeah, that is dope.
I think the U.S. agent should be kind of like a metaphor of how this is what would have happened when Captain America wasn't a guy who had a good heart. You know what I'm saying? Who just wasn't a good person. I hope U.S. agent is kind of like that scummy Captain America. Like he does stuff. He's a real Boy Scout. Listens to the government, but he does little shady things here and there. You know what I'm saying?
He's quite brutal as well. John Walker in the comics, I think he is. I don't know if he has the serum, but I think he's more powerful than like Cap, or something like that. I think, but you have to say it's almost like Punisher mixed with Captain, like Steve Rogers, and like you get this. It's like a Cap with no specific righteousness. He's just like
moral compass. Yeah.
Right. And I hope we get that. But because that's like the political side that I kind of want to get in the MCU that they touched on with Winter Soldier, and Falcon and Winter Soldier is kind of still taking that tone from it. So I'm excited for that. Overall, the trailer did not feel the music. I feel like it was kind of weird to be playing the Migos in the background in a Marvel trailer.
Is that Migos?
Yeah, that was the Migos.
Oh, I mean, I didn't think the music was great, but hearing Migos, like, that does not fit with.
Yeah, like just hearing Migos,
it doesn't.
Like Quavo and the skirt, like with that Marvel stuff, just doesn't mix well. It just doesn't.
I think they're just trying to market.
I think they're trying to appeal. They're trying to appeal to the audience.
Right.
That's what they're trying to do.
The dumb little TikTokers and all those like kids trying to be all cool.
Yeah, but overall, it was a cool little trailer. I am excited for it. Hopefully, we can have AJ on, because me and AJ, we kind of have the same opinion when it comes to those two characters. Man, I still a lot of meat in that bone for Bucky and Falcon, in my opinion.
It is. I do like Falcon though. I think there's a lot more for Falcon for me to hang on to than Bucky. I just think Bucky is.
You're right.
I'm not gonna bash Bucky. I told my audience that I'm not gonna bash Bucky anymore until I see this series. I am excited for it. My issues with Bucky, I did have it. It's just I just need some more depth. That's all. I need some more depth. I need some more charisma from this character. I just don't think it's quite there. But hopefully, this show gives us something.
Right. And I think, going in, I'm looking for Falcon. I'm looking for Falcon and becoming this new Captain America. And they have to prove it to me that he could. And so far, the training scenes, the way that's the stuff I need. Just because you have that doesn't mean anything. You got to prove it to me.
With this show, I agree with you both. Like, there's a lot more for Sam. And considering Bucky's been pretty much in the MCU since 2011, it's been a long time. And if you consider the timeline, he's technically like nearly 100 years old, so or probably is 100 years old. So I feel like it's more closing his like kind of journey within this series. And Sam, like, he's been given the shield. He's probably the next Captain America, as he was in the comics. So Sam's younger as well, and he's trying to find himself still. And he'll become that version of the character. Like, he's not a side character no more. He's like a main. Initially, he's going from being the side person to like a main. He's just trying to find himself, and we're gonna see how he deals with problems without Steve, around, because he was helping Steve. But how is he gonna deal with his own problems now? Like
solo.
Exactly. And of course, he has to work with someone who he probably never imagined he'd be with, especially after the little scenes you see with them in Civil War. Like, they didn't really like each other, and I actually like that idea. It's like being put with someone you hate, and then you realize they're not that bad. And
it reminds me a lot of Hobbs and Shaw. I get a lot of Hobbs and Shaw.
Exactly.
They do that a lot. They have Lethal Weapon, things like that, where they have to kind of be partners, and they're like, I work alone, stuff like that. But then they kind of grow on each other.
Yeah.
So be good humor there as well. So.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah.
And like I was saying in my review of the trailer, I think they balance each other out pretty nicely. Like, one has, like this witty banter, and then this other one is like strict, stoic, firm, So I like that. I like that balance, and hopefully they bring that out in this series.
You know what's interesting? In the first Avenger, Bucky was the witty one, and Steve was like a bit uptight, a bit serious. I feel like Bucky is now the really serious guy. Like,
they flipped,
and Sam is like that old Bucky. Like, I like that they flipped it.
Yeah, I like that.
But that's gonna be it, guys. That was fun to talk about that a little bit. So we got Shamoon Reacts. Oh no, wait, we got AJ Reacts. So let's go to you first. What do you gotta say before we get out of here?
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the show once again. It's always a pleasure coming on here. So you can find me on YouTube, AJ Reacts2. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Letterboxd, AJ Reacts2, all across the board. I react to films, trailers, TV, music, all kinds of stuff. Today I just checked out some Oreos, some Lady Gaga Oreos. So, I do all kind of stuff on my channel.
Yeah, I gotta see that. Shamoon Reacts.
Yeah, so you can find me at Shamoon Reacts on Instagram. You can obviously find me in Shamoon Reacts on YouTube. And if you're a Cobra Kai fan and you like that kind of stuff, then check out Cobra Kai Nation as well. And on my Shamoon Reacts channel, I haven't really been uploading, but I will be speaking more about the MCU and stuff as we've discussed today. So that will be fun.
And thank you guys, of course. I'm Matt from Basic Entertainment. These guys were AJ and Shamoon. We're getting into a lot of stuff. Longest stream so far, live spoiler talk, because there was a lot to talk about. We talked a little bit about Falcon Winter Soldier. I'm excited. Make sure if you guys are subscribed to the channel, or this is your first time, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Shout out to everyone in the comments that popped up today. That was amazing. You guys were giving us questions and stuff. So shout out to you guys. And make sure you guys stay tuned for next Monday and a special another live watch along of WandaVision this Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 Eastern. And what time will that be in UK?
3 p.m. GMT.
3 p.m. GMT. Hopefully AJ's going to be there. Shamoon's going to be there. And hopefully we can get more guests in there. It's going to be fun. So see you guys then. That's Shamoon. That was AJ. I'm Matt. And we will see you guys next time.
Take care, guys.
Later.